Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Monday, March 8th, 2021. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Monday, everyone. Really quickly, before we get to the charts, please visit pivotbossmasters.com/profits to check out this week's live sessions. If you scroll down here, you'll see these are the Masters live sessions that we'll be doing here. If you are a Masters member, please go to the Masters dashboard later on today to get the link to join the session. If you are not yet a member of Masters, you can be a part of it by clicking any of the instant access buttons here, and you'll get all the on-demand training, proprietary tools right at your fingertips. So visit pivotbossmasters.com/profits. All right, let's take a look here at the market. One thing you'll notice here with the ES in the daily time frame is we had a pretty big shakeout last week. Monday was an up day, followed by Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday down. Friday we had a big reversal back to the upside, and it's very reminiscent of what we've been seeing here recently. As a matter of fact, we've had this kind of channel that we've been talking about here, which is an expanding type of range. Each pullback has been a little bit bigger than the last, and each rally has been a little bit bigger than the last. And right now, again, we've seen a pattern of highs followed by lower highs, and lower lows. Will that pattern continue to persist here? This is a big upside level that we're watching right now, which is basically the 3780 or 3870 rather. It's a zone right here that if we don't start to get through that zone here, are we about to see another lower high and followed by weakness later on this week. Any weakness that would arise from here would likely lead us into the previous month's low price, which is just above the 3650 level. It's a big time key level there. The other thing we do have is from the intraday sell-off on Thursday, we have ourselves a new key range here. That key range gives us some targets to watch. If we do rally to the upside, then we have a really good shot to reach the 3964s, which would be the 100% target there and would take us just beyond the previous month's high price. So right now, looking to see how this plays out, but based off of Friday's action, we had a lot of rejection in many stocks across the market, and that could bode well for this market to the upside. But if there's any failure to hold Friday's midpoint, that could be indicative of a failure to come. All right, let's take a look now at the NQ. The NQ here, again, has had the deeper pullback compared to the ES or the YM and some of the others, starting with that strong top up there, a big pullback here with lower highs and lower lows. We've also seen price take out the 465 level. 3 different days it traded below 465, including pre-market this morning, and each time it has bounced back up off the LVN here. 12,200 is the low there. That's an important zone right there, because again, if we fail to hold below that 12,465, it would be failing to hold this top of this key range right here. And when that happens, there's a tendency to return back to the middle of that key range, followed by the potential to rotate all the way across the key range to the bottom of that range. So right now, if this market's going to remain higher or at least remain range bound, it needs to continue to hold this zone, which is currently happening right now. Any failure to hold that zone, again, would open up a rotation back toward 11,570. So right now, we got to see, are we about to get a bounce back up, or do we get another lower high and drop? One thing that has changed here during this recent 3-week decline is the bearish PEMA trigger zone has begun to develop. So you can see that 8-period average is now below the 55, the 21, the 34s, and any push into that zone could be seen as a selling opportunity by bears for another rotation down. So the NQ is facing some overhead resistance by way of a bearish PEMA trigger zone. Something very similar happened in gold as well, which has continued to hold gold down in recent trading. All right, let's take a look now at crude oil. Now, crude oil got a big time push to the upside here in overnight and pre-market trading here. The high coming in just shy of 68s, 67.98 is the high. A big time push through those 65, 66s that we talked about. And one thing we mentioned is if we get into that zone, we may begin to see some sort of significant rejection. If we do see a significant rejection, we could begin to work our way back down within that big time range. Remember when we first broke out at the beginning of January here, we broke through 50, and that suggested a move across that big market structure range into 65, perhaps as high as 66s. But once we get there, we may see some sort of big time break. The recent rally that we've seen here was pretty significant. Very significant rally. We've remained in a very strong bullish trending phase. We talked about, especially during the monthly outlook, any price below that previous month's close could be the optimum area to trap and reverse for bulls. In addition to the higher value relationship, we've seen that play out. Now, one thing to keep in mind is if we do reject here, we could easily return back towards 60 and perhaps even return a bit lower. So right now, watching to see if this rejection remains in play, or does the market continue to hold above 65s in the near term. All right, let's take a look lastly at gold futures. Right now, gold futures is down about 0.5% at the moment. The bearish PEMA trigger zone remains intact. This is something I mentioned here that is beginning to develop in the NQ. Every time price pushes into the bearish PEMA trigger zone, it has been an opportunity to push this thing back down. Again, as has been the case for a week plus now, this market broke down below the 1760 support level, and in doing so has dropped as low as the 1680s. We mentioned a violation of that 1760 would open up 1660 down below, and we're nearly there now, getting very, very close, and could hit that level here later on today if it remains bearish here. So the downtrend remains intact, both from the beginning of the year and also just from the beginning of the month. Any bounce could still be an opportunity to sell this thing into 1660 and perhaps as low as 1600 up ahead. All right, that is it for now. Again, please visit PivotBossMasters.com/profits to be a part of our Masters live sessions this week. All right, everyone, have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the room. Take care.